Hello and welcome back to Take Back Your Authority with Heather Bulthuis. I'm so happy to have you here today. I have a special guest, my dear friend Lin, joining us today. I'm so excited. Let me
Awesome.
tell you about Lin Yuan-Su. She's a mindset trainer and a strategist who has helped high-achieving, heart-centered entrepreneurs create meaningful success with more ease, alignment, and joy. A former registered dietitian who walked away from a successful but unfulfilling career, Lynn rebuilt her life through mindset mastery, inner awareness, and spiritual alignment. Today, she teaches entrepreneurs that 80% of success comes from how we think, not how hard we work. Through her Enlightened Success Institute, she guides clients to release old conditioning, tap into their new potential, and build soul led lives and businesses that feel as good on the inside as they look on the outside. All right, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome, Lynn.
Well, thank you so much, Heather.
All right, so Lynn, let's get started. So before you started to shift, what did normal life look like for you?
So I was working as a registered dietitian in public health sector here in Canada.
Hmm.
That we get paid relatively well, and we have lots of benefits, great pension plan. Like this is the former CEO I used to work with. How he described our pension plan. He said our pension plan is a Ferrari of pension plans. That's literally the word to word how he described it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was easy work. We were allowed to accumulate over time and take them off. My birthday, our birthdays as an employee of this
Hmm.
organization, we get our birthday off paid.
Nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the same time, before I had this discovery of truly just taking back my own authority, it felt very hollow for me. It was
Hmm.
just going to work was challenging, not because the work itself is hard, it's because it was not a fit for me from the very get-go. I just never paid
Hmm.
attention to it. I started to accumulate a lot of stress because there's something that's lacking, yet I was too scared to even admit. I
Yeah.
was too narrow-minded to think outside the box. I've heard of the term think outside the box, but it's like, okay, let's think outside the box. Well,
What's outside?
I was still inside. So
Yeah.
that was kind of like what life looked like for me back then.
Yeah. Just unfulfilling.
No, it was just extremely unfulfilling.
Yeah.
It's not like from the very beginning. It's many people probably can relate, your listeners can relate when you first fresh out of college, whatever, and you are like, I'm gonna save the world. You have this passion and this energy, and then at the beginning when I first heard that, oh, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life, I'm not fulfilled, it was very subtle, and that passion, like, oh, I'm gonna save the world, was way louder than that.
Hmm.
And but it started to grow bit by bit. It's getting heavier and heavier, but I think at the same time I was getting into a routine.
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
getting into very comfortable in a comfort zone. At the same time, very uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
inside of me, I was like, yeah, I'm not fulfilled here. I have more. I want to do more. I have more potential, and I'm not doing what I mean to do with this, you know, God-given gift. And
Yep.
I had no idea what it was, but just because I was so scared to entertain even what I was. All I knew was to keep going, keep applying for more raise, more promotion, and my ego was getting bigger and bigger, but inside of me was getting hollower and hollower.
Yeah, and it's hard to leave something that is so good, right? The enemy of great is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what were you secretly struggling with in that season that most people probably didn't even realize that you were struggling with?
It was this sense of what's the meaning of life to a
Mhm.
deeper meaning. I think I didn't consciously know that was what I was struggling. Internally, I was just very stressed.
Mm.
And I was looking for ways to lash it out, if that makes sense. So very
Hmm.
often I would be like very irritable, and my husband would be like, "Are you on the time of the month?" When I was like, "No, it's just me on an ongoing basis."
Yeah.
because I was holding this beach ball. This beach ball is to really honor my inner truth, honor my authority coming from this power that's breathing me. I didn't even know any of that that has anything to do with my career success. I felt like I had always been spiritual. I knew that. And yet I felt like that is that. And a
Mm,
career is career.
separate.
If
Mhm.
it feels like there's a separation. Of course, now I understand and we know that, yeah, it's you cannot separate that. That's who you
No.
are.
Yep.
But back then I was like, no, be quiet, be quiet. I'm not willing to entertain. And again, if any of your listeners have ever held a beach ball underwater, you would know how hard it is,
Uh,
how much work it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was doing that. So I was irritable. I felt stressed out, burnout. On a regular basis, I wake up on the first thing in the morning, I would think about what would be, what can I do today? What excuse can I use today to call in
Mm.
sick? And
Wow.
right as and then I will go through the list. Okay, I already used myself, used my husband and the dog, and later on the child, and it's like, oh, I guess I have to go to work. And then I would feel tremendous amount of guilt because
Mm.
I was being taught, most of us being taught, you've got to be a
Right.
good employee, you got to show up, you got to, be good, whatever, work hard. And that was the struggle that I was very conscious. But I know deep down now, reflecting back, it was much deeper spiritual connection issue
Well,
or problem or disconnect. And I was not honoring it, just going charging. My ego was driving the show, which
yeah.
now I realize was not really the healthiest way to live life.
I'm sure. And people are probably like, look at you. You're very successful. You should be
Oh yeah.
thankful for what you have. Why are you trying to do something else? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just society, right?
Yes. I was teaching Zumba. Anybody know Zumba
Yeah.
fitness? Like I was known as the crazy instructor because I was wanting to, like, that was so much fun for me to be authentically me.
Mm,
and
yeah.
and I just and it's also a side hustle, which means society is okay with that.
Yeah.
Society is okay if you have a full-time job and do fitness on the side, teaching fitness on the side.
Yeah.
Good for you. You are healthy, whatever, you're good health model. But the one of the reasons later on, I realized the reason I was pounding that floor so hard was because I was looking for a way to unleash all of that stress of
Sure.
not living into my full potential. That's really all it is. It's not
Yeah.
coming from my work, it's from inside of me.
Very good. Yeah. So was there a specific moment that was kind of that wake up call for you?
Yes, it was I think it was July sometime, July 2017.
Mm.
I just went back after my maternity leave after having my son. Sorry, folks in the United States, our maternity back then was 12 months. Now
Oh,
it's
wow.
18 months. And now it's 18 months, even longer. But back then,
Now it's 18 months? Oh my
yes,
gosh, that's amazing.
yes, I had to say so. So my son was about 14 months old at the time. It was July. I went back to work maybe like a month before, and I got another promotion. Literally, I felt like, wow, this position that they gave me, this promotion
Hmm.
was designed for nobody else but me. It was so specific. And you look at every single criteria that the organization was asking for. Nobody else in my organization has that except me. So
Mm,
that made my ego feel like, oh my God, I'm so special. But inside of me was just still struggling with the same thing. I'm not fulfilled. This is not my path, but I got no other choice. And I felt even more obligated to show up for work even earlier, do
mm,
even more work. And honestly, most of the times I didn't even know what the heck I was doing. It's like, what is this position for? I don't know. Nobody knows. So I guess I'll just hang out in my office doing
mm,
nothing. And that morning in Canada, our summer is beautiful, a blue sky. It was so early. I left my house. My husband and my taller son, both of them hasn't got up yet. That's how
mm.
early I got up and I left my house. I felt like I got to show up earlier. I was the first one arrive at work, empty parking lot. I stare at I had a key though, being
Yeah.
a important person, my ego
Yeah.
saying, "Yeah, we have the key." I was just sitting there in my car. Suddenly, it just hit me so hard from inside of me. This hollowness, this sadness of all the effort, all the time and energy I poured into this path. It's very clear it was not serving me. It hasn't served me, and I felt very sad for myself in a way.
Mm.
And I burst into tears. I did not know how long I
Yeah.
cried in the car. Probably worried like, let's not ruin my makeup or let other people see me because everybody saw me. They think I am very bubbly.
Strong and
I'm
yeah.
very positive. Yet the nobody at work has ever seen that side of me,
Hmm.
and I was so afraid to let the truth kind of go out.
Yeah.
So, but in that moment, I made a decision. The decision was very simple: is change. Something got to change. I did
Hmm.
not know what to change. I didn't have a plan. I didn't even know what is my next step. But it started with that no matter what decision, something got to change.
Yeah.
That decision, in a way, really allowed me to take back my authority. My
Hmm.
definition of authority is this power, this awareness coming from my heart. Is this awareness that's connected with this power that's breathing me? um,
Hmm.
is truly live in my life in an authentic way and using my gift in the way that is this made to be. So that
Yeah.
moment I made that decision, and then I start to realize, wow, the conversations I'm having with other
Mhm.
people are now very different. The activities I'm pouring my energy into are very different.
Yeah.
Fast forward from that moment, maybe 6 months later, I handed my letter of resignation. I left a career that six years in education and 8 years in the building. And that was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yeah. So were you afraid of what was going to come next?
I Here's the thing. I, I fear is it definitely was running in my life. We all have fear. As long as we're breathing,
Yeah.
we all have fear. And I am somebody who I don't when once I make a decision, I don't entertain fear in a way
Mm.
that most people entertain fear.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't have fear. I do. Trust me. How do I know I'm still breathing? And it just does not show up in the way because our fear speaks to us in a very specific way. A, because our fear is there to
Hmm.
protect us from anything that is new, that is foreign. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of to be able to recognize, oh, this is a fear showing up. When I resigned, I was really didn't think about
Mm.
what's next. I was like, okay, this is a great. I think in a way it's because I knew I have a license. I still
Hmm.
am a registered dietitian, and I have all of this,
To fall back on.
experience that I can easily find a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so I think that on the back of my mind, that is something that allowed me to say, okay, we're fine.
Yeah. So when you quit, did you have something in mind? Did you have the next thing going already? Had you been working on it?
I started my own transformational journey through network marketing, with hand lotions and lipsticks,
Okay.
literally. And I started that when I was on maternity leave, when my son was about 8 months old. I
Okay.
never thought I would say yes to something like that because, again, my ego is like, oh my God, we have a master degree. We're too good for this. And thank goodness there's something else in me guiding me to say yes. It's really not logical for me,
Hmm.
and I said yes, and thank goodness I said yes because that part of it introduced me to entrepreneurship, introduced me most importantly to personal development.
Mm.
So for the first time in my life, I started growing myself. I started to realize, whoa, okay, your mind is that powerful. Oh, okay, there's a connection about your mind and
Yeah.
your reality, and so on and so forth. And also, it gave me the opportunity to support others. As network marketing, for anybody who are familiar with it, is
Yeah.
you start to build your own business, you start supporting others to do exactly what you do, and that is a lot of coaching component in it as
Mhm.
well. And I start to realize, wow, this is something I love so much, just to
Yeah.
support others.
God was
Yeah.
preparing you for what was next.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I get goosebumps. Yes. How many times I came to the realization, yet, yes, absolutely. Network marketing served me as a stepping stone, and it opened this awareness, this door in my mind to realize, yeah, life coaching is something I would love to do. And as people say, rest was history. So when I resigned, I have already been building my network
Okay.
marketing business and started my coaching practice as well. So building something already.
Yeah. Yeah. So who or what became a mentor for you, maybe during this time? Like how did you discover that you would go from the lipsticks and lotions to coaching people?
Yes, my first coach was actually through the lipsticks and lotions.
Okay.
She's my in network marketing referred as my upline. So she
Hmm.
is somebody who is a leader in my business, and she has been doing it very successfully for years. Has done a lot of personal development herself, and yeah, she has been the one first example and model for me to look at. This is a coach, and she also helped me tremendously during the time where I started building this network marketing business. And then when I made a decision to become a life coach myself, I started to look for mentors. I've read lots of books, but reading books is very different compared to if you actually have a mentor in your life.
Yeah.
And I spent 9 months. Like I describe that period like online dating. Is you submit a form, you get onto a call, you exchange some emails, and maybe you even get onto a Zoom
Yeah.
and you meet each other. And I just like, wow, these are very nice people. Everything sounds so good. It's just there's no chemistry, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Right? It's like it does not click, honey. You're a great
Hmm.
person, but you're not my type of person.
Right.
That's how I describe it until 9 months later, I was ready to call it an end. I was like, oh, maybe, you know, I just do it, I figured it out myself.
Yeah.
That's when I was scrolling social media one day and boom, this sponsored ad popped on. I've never met this person, don't know who she is. And that ad was a video and was 13 minutes long. Can you imagine running an ad on 13-minute long video today? But there's something immediately I felt a chemistry.
Mm.
I didn't even hear her speak, and I could feel this energy that's
Mm.
just like so powerful. And I click into it. 13 minutes later, I knew that that was the person that I would love to
Yeah.
study with. Of course, you know who that is. It's Mary
Yes.
Morrissey, our mentor and a fantastic human being, such a thought leader, so effective in the way she teaches. And I became a certified coach through her company called Brave Thinking Institute, and being so many different programs. That's how we met in person.
Yep.
And my life transformed, not just the business side, but every aspect of my life,
Yeah.
including I manifested a child. You were there.
Yep.
Not
Yeah.
not when that actually happened, but the process.
Yeah. I find it interesting that it took you 9 months to find the mentor, which is like the gestation of being pregnant, right? And then it was
Exactly.
like you birthed your mentor, so to speak.
Yes. First, this next journey.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yes,
That's
yes.
great. So, how did your relationship with God, your faith, your spiritual life shift as you started on this journey?
It became much more conscious. I used to work with First Nations population. That's the health center I was working at as a dietitian. So again, you say God is preparing me for what is coming. That is
Mhm.
absolutely true. I was born and raised in China, in
Mm.
Chinese culture, in Chinese under our government. It is you can practice whatever religion, but most people are following the communism. Like it's almost like communism is a religion.
Mm.
Both my parents are communism party members. I was this close. I signed the application form. That was a big honor as a high
Mm.
schooler to be able to become a communism party member. You're almost like guaranteed a very bright future if you join the party at that young age. And I
Mm.
was the student representative, if you would, of my entire class to take that spot. But I made a decision to leave Canada, and then like, yeah, whatever.
Leave China.
Leave China. So I leave
Yeah.
China to come to Canada for my post-secondary education. So that
Okay.
didn't really go through. And then when I started, I think my blessing is that I left China at an age where I'm solidly connected with this culture. This is the culture I grew up in. Mandarin is my mother tongue. I'm very fluent in it, obviously. And then at the same time, I left at a very crucial age of
Mm-hmm.
20, in my early 20s. I left when I was 20 years old, that I entered into a very different culture.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed me to form my own identity, form my own view of the world. It's very free. So I know that has so much to do with who I am today. Working with the First Nations, I was so privileged to sit with a lot of healers, elders, traditional teachers, to listen to their teaching about spirituality, about
Mm-hmm.
their history and everything they have known into today.
Yeah.
And yet I felt like, wow, it's like I knew I was a very spiritual person, despite the fact I don't practice any religion.
Mm-hmm.
Yet as this journey started, studying with Mary and hanging out with people like yourself, it's
Yeah.
just this conscious awareness of what it means to say I am. Now, those two very simple words, three letters, that's it. Yet when you say if you know what it means for you, then you know. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, it doesn't matter. Nobody can tell you what it feels like. What it is, this conscious knowing of I am that I am, that there is a higher power that's guiding me through this life. As
Mm-hmm.
long as I'm breathing, I'm connected. And
Yeah.
whatever I'm being faced, the longer I've been staying in the study, practicing it, and building my life accordingly, has allowed me to strengthen my faith, knowing that whatever happens,
Yeah.
if one is everything is divinely. We just went through a little bit of this, right? It's like everything is divinely. Do we trust or do
Yes.
we trust? And we do. Yes, we do. And
Mm-hmm.
and you have way more fun living life this way. So you stop fighting for a lot of things
Right.
in
You
your
let
own
go and
head, in your own
yeah,
head.
let go and let God, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
for sure. So, what decision or action felt like crossing the line where going back wasn't really an option, where you decided, this is it, I'm burning the boats, I'm moving forward, I'm doing this?
Right. Part of it, I think it has to do with my personality.
Yeah.
I used to describe myself, which now reflecting back is really anyhow. I used to describe myself as a pit bull.
Oh, yes.
I would bite on my goal and I wouldn't let it go. Like
Hmm.
if my vision, my goal, my dream, whatever is a like a bone, and I would bite on
Yeah.
it and I wouldn't let it go until I achieved it. I think in a way it is I'm very humbly proud of myself as to have this quality. I learned to create this harmony, not to like it's not a biting, it's simply just you float, you
Yeah.
follow, you follow the guidance, it will achieve. I never thought about to go back to what I was doing, just knowing is first of all, when I was practicing as a dietitian, I didn't do too much like frontline, what we call frontline
Mm-hmm.
consulting. I did about 3-4 years of that, and the rest was all in management and all in
Oh, okay.
like direct as a
Sure.
dietitian patient. What are you eating?
Yeah.
And this is a better way of eating, whatever. And so I think that way is helped me to really stay focused on where I am right now. 2.5 years ago on my birthday, I let go of my license completely. Yes.
Wow. Talk
As a
about
birthday
burning the
gift.
boat.
Yes, I burned the boat good for good. And
Yes.
it's very interesting. When I was online, the College of Dietitians of Ontario, that's where you have your license,
Yeah.
Ontario. And I'm clicking that I'm resigning. And
Yeah.
they have like 2-3 steps to make sure that you actually, this is not a mistake.
Right. Are you
Do
sure?
you, yeah, exactly. Are you sure? Do you want to, take a pause and then,
Yeah.
because it is a lot, it's a lot of work. You
Yeah.
go for your undergrad and you go through 1 year internship and whatever.
Sure.
Um, and they don't want you to just let it go without taking serious consideration. And at that
Hmm.
point, I had already thought about letting this part of my destination go for a long time.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't do it was because I feel part of me felt like I did it for my parents.
Yeah.
and they are very proud of me. And then I realized they're not proud of me for necessarily what I've done. Well,
Yeah.
exactly. They're proud of me for what I'm doing, for me living into my truth,
Yeah.
be dare enough to do whatever it serves my heart rather than just
Hmm.
follow this path. So
Yeah.
and I wanted to save that $700 a year of
Right.
apprenticeship fee that I'm not using it at all.
Yeah.
It's economical too.
Yeah, I remember when I let go of my interior design, membership as well.
Right,
And yeah, at first it's a little bit like, well, maybe I need to hold on to that. And then it's like,
right.
no, I'm ready to let that go.
Yep.
So move on to the next thing. But
Yes.
so once you stepped out, what were some of the challenges or tests that you faced, or that showed up for you?
Ooh, do we have 3 days? No, just kidding. Being an entrepreneur, it's so different compared to being an employee. And I feel
Yeah,
the mindset shift from being employee to being an entrepreneur is a pretty significant one. And on top of that, I was in healthcare because I think a lot of people in healthcare, we are not being taught anything about business or about
right.
money. We're just like,
Hmm.
okay, you go, you do a work, you're gonna get paid.
Yeah.
Especially my position, I was working for a public health, like it's publicly funded.
Hmm.
So we don't even charge our clients for money.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's all covered by, sorry to rub it onto your Americans, it's all covered by the government, by our healthcare system. So
Yeah.
um in a sense, I never ever asked for money from a client. So
Mm,
that was one of the examples. And then I realized later on, I'm not the only one. A lot of people who became a coach and wanting to become an entrepreneur, that's one of their hurdles almost. They
right.
go through is
Yeah.
like, how do I ask for money? I don't feel
Mhm.
comfortable. I almost feel like money is something I shouldn't be asking. If I ask for
Yeah.
it, it's bad. Until I develop this true understanding of what money truly is and what it allows me to do on the planet Earth. It's just way more. So that was
It's
one
a
of the
tool.
examples. Yeah, it's a tool. It's absolutely a
Yeah.
tool. Yes, it allows you to experience more, be able to give more, and have more, whatever you would love
Yeah.
is especially in today's society. So yeah, it's definitely a tool. So that's one of the examples, along with so many others.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a really big shift going from being an employee to an entrepreneur. It's a totally talk about change of mindset. It's a
Yeah.
totally different mindset, the way that you look at things and how conduct your business. It's a big difference. It's
Yeah.
like polar
Yes.
opposite almost.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. I remember at the beginning when I resigned, I was like, okay, I have all the time in my hands. I can really build my business, whatever, whether it's
yeah.
network marketing or my coaching. And then weeks later, I would just really having a struggle in my head because I, I don't do things. Like I would procrastinate
Yeah.
day after day. And I would beat myself in my head just saying, oh, you know what to do. Why are you not doing it? And, having that conversation. Later on, I realized, well, it was because I was thinking as an employee. I was
Mm,
waiting for somebody else, for a boss, which was me. I didn't realize I was a boss.
yeah.
I was waiting for somebody else to give me a job description and to give me to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't even, that was one of another example of, whoa, okay, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So how long would you say that that was maybe one of your lowest points, or was there a particular lowest point in your journey?
I think actually I felt the most growth in the past 18 months.
Mm,
And that was actually when I would say I experienced my lowest point in my entrepreneurial journey.
mm.
And it has something to do with money. Because
So
when
tell
I
me.
left, absolutely, I love to tell you more. And to your listeners as well, maybe somebody can relate. Obviously, in the past couple of years, we are going through a very challenging economical time.
Hmm.
For me, it was very much of during that same time, is everything is divinely. It's not just like, oh, global economy is bad. That's why my business is slow or whatever. It's a reflection of also for my internal growth. I am stepping into a whole other level of my own consciousness of how I show up as a coach, as a mindset trainer, and a strategist. What does that mean? To serve the people that I clearly define as the people I would love to work with. What does that mean? That this entire, you and I, we use the language of upward spiral of
Yeah.
becoming. Because when I left my workplace, I walked away with a significant, not a package because I resigned.
Sure.
It's my basically my all the pension money I had been paid
Yeah.
in. So I have that partially. Part of it is I cannot touch because that's different. Yet
Yeah.
part of it I can utilize for myself. So I was okay financially for a
Sure.
while, and then my business started to pick up, and that allowed me to really just, okay, this is working. And eventually in the past 18 months, as I'm growing truly into who I am for the whole other level, and with the economy, and there's some up and flow and different things in awareness, it allowed me to step more and more into, this is taking back my own authority,
Mhm.
and first start with consciously aware of what that is. Because we all think first started with our logical side, with our human
Yeah.
intellect. And the beautiful thing is that is directly connected with our divine side.
Mhm.
Is we're just not being taught to create this harmony of both sides.
Yeah.
For the longest time, I thought in order for me to grow spiritually, I need to get rid of my logical side. And then I realized, well, I cannot get rid of half my brain, can I?
Right.
I
Yeah.
probably won't survive.
Yeah.
And that's when I had that aha moment of is yes and is to honor and truly treasure your own logic, human intellect is very crucial, very valuable, and expand that with your connection with this higher power and
Mhm.
trust as well. So, and
Yeah.
knowing at times you don't have to fight because all the fight is in your head, and
Right.
because it
All starts right here.
yes, it's all between your ears,
Yeah.
and
Well,
yeah,
yeah, sorry, even if like the left brain, right brain, people say, well, I'm left brain, I'm right brain. Well, we've come to find out that you can't have one without the other. They
yes,
flow back and forth. You might be
yeah,
a little bit more dominant in, maybe you're more engineer type or more artsy type, but you need them both. You can't.
yeah,
So yeah, that's a good analogy with the logical and the spiritual. They have to work together or else you're not fully functioning.
exactly.
Yeah. So, what started to change after you went through that difficult time? Did you see anything specifically that changed or just
Yeah,
yeah.
it's my faith. It's
Mm,
it's my faith of this divine wisdom, and whether you call it universe, God always
yeah.
has my back. Just to put it
Yeah.
in a very plain way, is no matter what, it is all going to be okay.
Yeah.
So I can either go through this process freaking out every single second of it, or I
Yeah.
can go through it, still have those moments of freaking out or doubt or worry, whatever it
Sure.
is, yet to bring myself back to say, to remind myself, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It's all going to work out. It's
Yep.
okay. I don't know how,
Yep.
because he knows.
Yep.
And that's all I need to know. And
Yes.
and then you ask yourself, okay, God, what is mine to do? What is my work, my part to do?
Mhm.
And just any idea pop into your head, you just do it.
Yeah. In all things, God works together for good for to those who are
Yes.
called according to his purpose. So yeah, I have to remind myself of that as well in some situation like, okay, in all things, even this,
Yeah.
you work together for good. So whatever that looks like, it will. Yeah, got to keep your eyes on that and focus on the good
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
remind yourself of those things.
Yeah,
So,
truly is a practice because there's a lot
yeah,
of things we call common hour thinking. All
yeah,
right. For giving you an example, Wednesday morning, I usually don't have appointment first thing in the morning, my time, eight-ish.
hmm
If Wednesday morning we got hit by a snowstorm.
Oh,
Living here in Ontario, I love snow. I was like, yeah, look at that snow. And then I call my husband is like, hey, dude, you got to clean the driveway. And
yeah,
he to clean the driveway usually is him driving my kids to school. because
Okay.
they are, and he was just like cleaning the snow. He didn't expect it to be that much. It took him longer,
Yeah.
and he already passed the time to be on time to drive the kids to school because he hadn't
Sure.
showered and got ready for his day yet.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'll take the kids to school. I drove his vehicle. I started taking them, my kids to school. Everybody was going very, very slow because it's piles
The
of
snow.
snow on
Yeah.
on the ground. For those of you who haven't driven that condition, you just go slow. That's it.
Yeah. It's
You
worse
just
than
go slow.
rain.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just very slow. Everybody was going slow. It took us a bit longer, not that long. But
Yeah.
when I was circled back to drive home, I realized, oh, I have an 8:15 appointment. I had totally forgot
Oh no.
and totally forgot. And this person I'm meeting with, she's in Thailand,
Oh wow.
vacationing right now, and that's why we have a very weird time difference. So that
Yeah.
be the only time that works for her. And I was very looking forward to talking with her
Yeah.
again. And then I would just, of course, the first thing kicked into my mind is like, oh, I feel like something.
Failure.
Yeah, just like, and something start with an A.
Oh.
you know Yeah. It took me a while to even just come back to say, okay, I honor that part of my humanness
Yeah.
and I can let that go. And I sent her a voice message apologizing, sincerely apologizing, own
Yeah.
it to myself, yet maintaining it's like, okay, let's move forward from this. And I'm totally okay if she's so mad and she doesn't want to talk to me again, which I'm fine, which I knew she wouldn't. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing is, because it's her nighttime already,
Mm.
she didn't check my messages. And part of
Oh.
my own mind started thinking, oh, she must be so mad at me. And I just noticed that
Yeah.
because it takes practice to notice what we have in our head,
Mm-hmm.
which we think is like, oh, that's simple. Yeah, it is a lifelong practice.
Mm-hmm.
And yet,
Yeah.
because I noticed that, I was able to take a breath to say, you know what? She is her highest authority. And
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand if she is upset or whatever. And of course, that's not the case. She's like, oh, I totally understand the second morning, her time.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Let's pick another time to get together. So simple things like this.
Yeah.
We have all of those things on an ongoing basis that forms our life.
Mm-hmm.
The power of our awareness, the power of take back our own authority. I
Mm-hmm.
truly believe our own authority is this connection with God.
Yeah.
It only has love, kindness, grace. And we started with ourselves. We got to do that for ourselves, not coming from being
Yeah.
selfish. It's from coming from this. This is the flow. We feel ourselves, and then the good permeates into our surroundings, into other people.
Yeah.
And to do that, it truly is a lifelong practice.
Yeah, and I read this book, which was really good. I would highly recommend it. But in the book, the lady who's a counselor, I believe she's a counselor, but she talks about how most people don't like or love themselves, even though they think they do. And so I found that very interesting. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I don't like and love myself the way that I think I do. So she gives a practice that you can, retrain your brain, so to speak, so that you can love and like yourself. But it's interesting because I think we all think that we do, but in reality, if we dig really deep, there's, things. So learning to love and like ourselves is and part of that is noticing what you're noticing, right? Like what you're saying,
Absolutely.
that's part of that practice. So is there a daily practice that you have that helps you, to continue to be in the strong mindset?
Yes, it take years of investing ourselves. You know that, I know that. That's how we met. And it's continuously to discover the way to study awareness, mindset.
Mm-hmm.
uh I found nowadays I have different programs supporting my clients, and every single time I always take it an incredible honor and privilege to support anybody who is willing to be supported by me, and who
Yeah.
we feel the connection. And as I am coaching them, I'm also basically coaching myself in a way. I'm
Right.
studying the material over and over and
Yeah.
over. That on its own is very powerful. I always listen to podcasts or previous recordings of my classes with my mentor, reading books, of course. And here are the fundamentals is gratitude, daily gratitude, however you practice gratitude. For the longest time, I was writing 3 gratitudes every single day. Do not repeat, right? If you said,
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my house yesterday, don't do it today.
Right.
Like it's 3 things of gratitude, 3 things of celebration, because most of
I
us
like
are
that.
not to celebrate for ourselves, not
Yeah.
only our own, wins for ourselves. We're just keep looking for what's not enough, what's missing. So retrain your brain to really recognize your own wins. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
your win is like, I stayed in bed for today because I don't feel well,
Right.
and that's something I want to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
3 of that, and that's a daily practice. And the
Yeah.
first thing in the morning when I wake up, of course, you're probably familiar with this as well, Heather,
Yeah.
is to just simply first thing I conscious thought. I'm directing my own mind into what am I grateful for,
Mm-hmm.
and that is
Yep.
really a practice because at the beginning that was not it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And
I have a practice before I even get out of bed. I plead the
yeah,
blood of Jesus over me and my family. I put on the armor of God, and I find things to be grateful for
yeah,
before I even get out of bed. And thankful for a brand new day because not everybody has that. So I'm grateful
exactly,
for that. And then I
exactly.
do a morning practice as well where I write down the gratitudes and then the proud of, so which is your celebrations
Yes,
of
yeah.
what I'm proud of what I did the day before. So yeah, I find that there was probably a couple months that I didn't do it. And I'm like, okay, I got to get back into it, because it's easy for
Right.
it to just slip, right? Just like, oh, you get busy with things. And then I was like, I was noticing what I was noticing. And I'm like, I need to get back into doing my morning practice. And mine is actually, I write it out and then along with like my goals and, what I want to accomplish in the day and so forth. And it's amazing how much it keeps you focused on what you want to do. And I
Right.
always love checking off the list at the end of the day. And I'm like, oh, yeah, look how much I did. I was
Yeah,
able, oh, excuse my phone, able to, what I was able to do yesterday. So I love that. So we have similar
exactly.
practices. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a very powerful, simple yet very powerful practice.
Yeah, for sure. So, what does taking back your authority and living a life you love with God look like for you now?
It This morning is a perfect example. I took my dad and we drop off my kids at their school, and it was pretty early. We had a 9:30 appointment for my father to have his eyes checked out. It's a routine checkout, and
Okay.
for myself as well. And we just like, okay, we still have about an hour. Let's go to a grocery store
Yeah.
and check out what they have. And we walked around and went to the eye doctors and did our thing and did a few other errands. For me, is that's freedom.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't work on a Friday, is that I take priority of my family. My parents, they moved from China to Canada here. I'm the only child. They have been tremendous support for us, especially just watching their bond with my kids was such a
Yeah.
gift. And at times I can do a lot of things that I don't need to think about childcare because they are there.
Yeah.
I haven't cooked for 7 years. I
I need
know.
one of those.
No, my dad is a fantastic cook
Oh my
and he
gosh.
loves cooking, and part of them feels like they're obligated to, but I'm not gonna argue with it. But yeah, so they show up at 8, they have their own house in my
Okay.
neighborhood. They show up at 8 o'clock and they leave
Oh,
at after dinner. So to live this life, a lot of people might think, oh, that's good. You have your parents in your house every single day. That got you so challenging. That can be.
yeah.
And because I took back my authority
Yeah.
and I continuously to connect with this true authority,
Yeah.
I'm able to come more and more from love. And I believe because I am coming from more and more from love, I'm calling out from every single people in my life more and more from love.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean life is every single day is dandy. Is no, gosh, no.
Yeah.
I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old for crying out. And at times when kids are just being kids, and I'm the parent, I'm the mother who is showing up to support them,
Mm-hmm.
I can really mind my own mind.
Yeah.
I stopped this generational pattern of how to raise children,
Mm.
which involves heavily with physical punishment.
Mm.
And I was able to stop that because I have a very different awareness and mindset.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
So this way of living is truly, is it doesn't matter what, like, whether you believe or not, it is a way.
Yeah.
Am I too bold to say that?
No.
Right?
Yes. Sorry, for some reason I'm hearing it echo now all of a sudden. But anyway, yeah. So Lynn, thank you so much for being here. And I know that you have a special gift for our listeners. So I will have it in the description below. But if you want to talk about what that is, that would be great.
Yes. Thank you so much, Heather, for allowing me to share this gift.
Yeah.
The first thing first is a free gift. It's called Success Oath. It's something I designed. It is like an affirmation and it's way more powerful. It's packed with way more content in this one PDF downloadable. It's actually focusing on different areas. So it's called Success Oath. Check it out. If you love it, it's all free. Grab it for yourself. You get it delivered right into your email box. That is a free gift. And also, I have a signature 10-week self-guided study program. If you are somebody who right now you resonate with me, with the content Heather and I we have talked about, you have been thinking about, I wonder what it's like to work with a coach. This is a great starting point. It is packed with incredible principles that Heather and we actually invested to study for ourselves. And I packed it in this 10-week course. I usually go for 555 Canadian dollars. And for Heather's listeners, you have $100 right off. So this is a gift that I would love to share with your audiences.
All right. Thank you so much, Lynn. That's so generous of you. I so much appreciate that. And all the descriptions will be in the description box below, the links so that you can connect with Lynn. And just thank you so much. This has been so much fun and connecting with you. And all right. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and share to anybody who you think this would be helpful for. And tune in next week for the next podcast. Have a great
Yeah.
day.
Make sure you subscribe and click the little bell and get your notification.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Heather.
Bye.